It's working. Did you guys see recording at the top? Maybe. Yes. No.
I do.
I think it's recording. So we just wanted to come on and talk about, I know a lot of you guys have the same questions and are feeling the same way. And we felt this way too. And so we just wanted to come on and talk a little bit about objections and getting no's and kind of how you're feeling, and just talk to you guys and give you all some tips and stuff like that and encouragement and all of that. So I'm new at this, right? So do we want to start with some questions, or do you guys just want us to kind of talk about objections and no's and how we overcame that?
Oh, okay. I'll just talk about how I deal with objections, and then Heather, you can talk about how you deal with them.
Okay.
The biggest advice that I have with objections is that they're not objecting you. They just aren't ready. So you can't take it personal. And the other thing is that I have to do weekly, and Heather helps me with this, is to get perspective on why I'm doing this in the first place. And it's not for anybody else to sign up with me. It's not to sell challenge pack after challenge pack. It's to do this for me and to get myself healthy, so I'm the priority. And when I realize that, every week I have to tell myself that, and then I can go back and be like, it doesn't hurt my feelings. I don't take it as personal when somebody tells me no. Now, Heather can talk more about this, but when somebody tells you no, I think a lot of times, and a lot of you guys are seeing no, but it's not a no. And it could be that they don't have enough money. Objections are not no's. And that's what we have to be able to teach you guys, how to squash an objection, because you have to put that out, like act like that objection's a fire, and you need to put that out and say, there's really no excuse. There is time, there is money, and you don't have to say it like I'm saying it. Like I'm talking to you guys like that, but you can be tender and, ask them like what's bothering, sorry, clothes about to fall off the couch. Oh my gosh. But like what their objection is, and just talk about it in a compassionate way, and relate to them on that objection. Like I have objections sometimes, like, oh, a good one, I'm really busy, so mine is, the way I squash that is I'm like, girl, I totally understand. I'm moving to Texas from Alabama in 2 weeks, but I can't tell you, this has given me more energy to get through the next 2 weeks. And that's how I squash that. And then they're like, oh, I guess if she can do that, then maybe I can, So if somebody says like, I just don't think I'm ready, like that doesn't mean they're saying no. That just, if they say, I don't think, like that's a window right there for you to be like, well, what's holding you back? So those are just a few of my tips, but Heather, what do you think?
Yeah, a lot of mine too is, and I went live, I guess, I don't know, yesterday, because I actually showered for once and was like, hey, I'll go live in my team page. And I think it got kind of lost in the mix, but a lot of the information that I shared in that call was, I think, super useful. So one of my biggest things is you can't just do one thing, right? And so I feel like it's a mixture. There's not one like secret magic thing for success. You've got to do all of the things. And I know for our team, I go and look at people's pages and stuff like that. And, you've got to show up every day. That's the number one thing, right? You've got to show up every day on Facebook, on Instagram, on Insta stories, not just once a day and not just Beachbody. So on your Facebook page, like if you've got kids, share your mom stuff, or if you share your recipes or share with your spouse or boyfriend or whatever, share your life. And I think for Facebook, you should be posting 2 to 3 times a day and not just Beachbody. Also, don't waste the time of day, because the best time of day is either going to be very first thing in the morning when people are getting ready for work, or they get to work and they scroll Facebook before they're ready to actually get to work. So either first thing in the morning, lunch break time, so like that 11 to 12 hour, and at night. And I will say nighttime is probably the best, because what do we do at night? We're either sitting on our couch, or if you guys are like me, I'm sitting beside my husband and I'm going like this, right? So nighttime, probably around 7, 8 o'clock is probably the best time. So again, so show up. That's the first thing. The next thing is, don't just show up to sell. I want you guys to show up and tell. You've got to share your heart. You've got to share, all of you guys are doing the program, so you've got to share what this program is doing for you on the inside. Okay, my first transformation pictures was just a picture of me and my daughter, and I had not lost a single pound yet. But my transformation was, oh my goodness, I just realized I'm finally getting out from, if you scroll, look at me on Instagram, and I think I changed my name because I needed to, but it's like Heather__Shipley. But scroll down, and if you look at my Instagram before Beachbody, it's all Brindley, and there are no pictures of me. Okay. And so my first post kind of coming out was that I realized I had come out from behind the camera. That now, did I still pick apart pictures of myself at that point in time? Yeah. Do I still do it today? Probably a little bit. But I was coming out from behind the camera. And I think a lot of this journey is gaining confidence in yourself. And that's what you need to talk about. I don't want you guys to feel like, oh, well, I don't have a transformation picture like Heather or Jessica have yet, or my coach Emily. Go back and look at Jessica and I's, look at Chloe. Go back and look at Jessica and I's pages from the beginning, before we had transformations. We are sharing our hearts. And just like Jessica is saying, she's moving across the country. And I mean, Jess, can you imagine if you had waited to start? You couldn't have lifted that couch you're sitting on right now.
Well,
you wouldn't have.
Even if I would have waited to coach. I mean, yeah. I could still be doing 80 days and be like, hey, I'm just not ready. But I post, my transformations are not my body, every week. And it's about being strong. And here's the other thing, like, I did have a goal weight when I started this, and I still do. It's not like, it's kind of like, I guess I would call it a soft goal. It's not like a hard goal. My goal is just to feel amazing, and I'm getting there. I feel great. I don't really have, I guess I just feel good now. So those, I guess what I'm trying to say is, I want that, what you feel, to bleed through in your post, Hey, Carolyn.
Hey, Carolyn.
So if you're feeling confident, I want to see that in your post, you know?
Or even if you're not, I mean, some of you guys, I have personal text messages with you, and we have weekly pep talks about confidence and how you're feeling, and that you're not doing perfect and things like that. And Jessica preaches progress over perfection. Like, people aren't going to relate to, like, got my Shakeology today, day 8 of 80, doing perfect. It's perfect. Like, just like the check-in post, right? I want you guys to more than check in, because that's what every single Beachbody coach can do. And that's what's different about our team, is the fact that, anybody can go get a protein shake at Aldi or Walmart, or look up a workout program on Pinterest for free, right? What people are getting through this is you, right? They're not signing up for 80-day obsession. They're signing up for you to walk hand in hand with them to help them change their lives. Okay. So those are just like the core. I want to get into the other stuff, but just before I get into that, I just had to talk about the core of what we do. You've got to show up every single day on social media, some days, but I promise you see me on social media. I may do a face-to-face transformation that day, even if I didn't work out. So showing up every single day, but when you do show up, I want you to tell and not sell. So it's not about checking in, because I can tell the difference in coaches, not just our team, but other Beachbody outside of our team, that the coaches that are just posting because they need to post for the day are the people that are really dedicated to, first and foremost, changing their own lives from the inside out, and then changing other people's lives. So it's more than a check-in. Okay, I want you to share your hearts. Also, the other thing is, when you do that, don't forget to have a call to action, because some of you guys are really sharing your hearts, but then it's like people are cheering you on and they're saying, great, I'm so proud of you, I'm happy for you, but you forgot to invite them to your challenge group, or you forgot to say, the next one starts in June, drop an emoji below, or message me or whatever. You've got to let people know, especially those of you that are starting out. We're all starting out, right? I didn't even start until the end of February. But you've got to let people know that you're a coach. You've got to constantly remind them and invite them and talk to one person. Don't talk to everybody, right? Because we're not trying to get everybody. You want to reach one person, and we'll talk about that in a minute too. But you're just trying to reach that one person. So talk to one person. Say, I want you. I want to be your coach, and I want you to be a part of this challenge group, and we can change our lives together. That takes the pressure off of it, because you can say, I want you to do this with me, right? You're not inviting people just to do a program that you're not doing. You're doing it too, right? So you're just inviting them to do it with you. So showing up, sharing your heart, call to actions. Jess, did I cover all of that part of it? And then I want to cover a little bit about the no's and the objections. Jessica talked a little bit about it, but the first thing, I said this yesterday, but I'm going to say it again today, and you guys are going to hear me preach this over and over and over. So when people are saying no, or I don't look at no's like no, I look at it like they're saying right now, they're going to join later, they just don't know it yet. Okay, so I call it the mindset makeover. When you change your mindset to this isn't about me, and this isn't personal. They're not saying no to me. They're saying no to themselves. They're not ready yet. Okay. So when somebody says no, and I've seen a lot of screenshots, you guys have sent screenshots to your coaches and to me and stuff like that. And some of the things that you guys are considering no's are not no's at all. They are objections that are, like Jessica said, think of them as fires and put them out. They're not no's. A lot of these people are saying, well, I'm really busy. And sometimes I'll ask, and they'll say, I might be in for June. Well, when somebody tells me that, I just call them out. I can tell you're really hesitant to join me in May. What's holding you back? And then they'll tell you. I've had one girl, really, it's not the money. I've done stuff like this before, and I don't think I can commit. Then I have the opportunity to continue the conversation and talk about, well, I've done things and quit before too. I'm a habitual quitter, and this is the one thing I haven't quit, and let me tell you why. Okay, the accountability group, the fact that the meal plan is laid out for you. There's no guesswork, right? So a lot of these objections aren't really, even the price one, which I think is probably the one that holds people back the most, because the other stuff, I'm busy, I don't have time, or I'm moving. When people tell me they're moving now, I tell them, well, guess what? My star coach, Jessica, is moving across the country. I've got coaches building houses, moving, all that. So you can do it. And now I'm going to talk about how strong Jessica is, and she beast moded her couch with her husband. They don't need movers anymore. So, no's aren't no. Don't take them personal. And if you guys utilize me, and if Jessica's your coach, please utilize us. I know with Emily and other coaches on our team, we'll get on a group text and be like, hey, I just got this objection. How can I answer this? And then, Jessica and I can go back and forth, and Jessica's so good at objections and stuff like that. Jessica has the mentality, and I love it, and I would love for all of us to have it, is that you coach somebody before you're ever their coach. So even when somebody tells you no or not right now, love on them. Ask them about them. So well, what are you doing for health and fitness? Or what are your goals? Or what I ask? What's your biggest struggle? And people talk, right? I guarantee you, if I asked all of you guys right now what your biggest struggle is, that would take a wall down, and you would start to talk to me about some real struggles that you've had in your past with your health and fitness journey, right? And then I can talk to you about those, and you say, it's the me too mentality. Me too, girl. This happened to me, or that's how I feel, or I still struggle with that. But I've got this tribe of women now that I can come to for accountability, and they help me show up on the days that I don't want to show up. So it's called Faith Over Fear Fit Family for a reason. We're a family. So I want you guys to rely on me, rely on your coach, rely on each other. That's what this team page is for. So don't think of objections as objections. There's not a single one that we can't overcome. I think Jess shared one with me that was a lady was pretty cold and she was like, thank you, no. And so that really kind of makes you want to just walk away, maybe put your tail between your legs and be like, okay, she was a little rude. In that instance, what I do is I always leave the offer on the table and I keep the conversation open by saying, okay, thank you so much for getting back with me. And if you ever change your mind or know somebody that does, please let me know. And then you step out of the conversation. Okay? Because if somebody is kind of cold and short with you and you still come back with that, then, and guess what? You just activated the Facebook algorithm or Instagram algorithm. So now what's going to happen is when you show up every single day in their timeline and they start to see your transformation, not just on the outside, but how you're changing, right? So many of those people are going to message you back and say, Jessica's gotten a lot of them this week, people that simply are saying, it's time. Okay. So don't just walk away from a conversation. Keep building that relationships. Jessica and I have a whole list of people on a prayer list or a not right now list, people that have had surgery or babies or they're pregnant or life is just really hard right now. There's a lady that, a friend of mine, I met her at a conference, so we're not like close friends, but she's planting a church across the country and she wants to join probably in July. And yesterday I just reached out to her and asked her how life was going. So, you know, you can continue to build, just because they're not buying Beachbody doesn't mean you shouldn't build a relationship.
Well, and we're not here to sell. We're not here to sell. So we're here to be a friend. So that's what makes us different than any other fitness program out there, is that you're here to help people. You're not here to sell to them. Yeah. And that's what I want you guys to realize. So like if you get an objection, just like say, oh, I just had a hysterectomy. Like, girl, I'm really going to pray for you. And I'll check back with you in a couple weeks and we'll see how you're doing. And in that next couple weeks, you say, hey, girl, how are you feeling? You don't say, hey, you ready to do Beachbody?
Right. Like, and actually do it, like actually follow up, because I feel like when people say, like, you know, I've had people that have surgery and then on the morning of surgery, I'll message them and say like, hey, I'm praying for you today. Or, you know, how did that job interview go yesterday or what? And when you do that, people are like, wait, what? Like my own sister didn't even remember that. You know, like it means a lot to people when you're showing up in their lives. So I want you guys to not think, I know I post about Success Club and ranks and all of that. That's my job as the team leader. So I'm going to keep doing that. But please don't get in the mentality that that's what this is about, because it's not. Okay? You're building relationships. You're changing your own life. Every single one of you that I'm looking up top at your pictures and all of your sweet babies. Y'all are awesome. Every single one of y'all are changing your own lives first and foremost. So take the pressure off yourselves. That's what this is about. Share your heart. Let people know what you're doing, that you are a Beachbody coach and that you do have challenge groups every single month and you're inviting them personally to it. But just take the pressure off of yourselves. What else? I'm trying to think. Anything you want to add, Jess?
If you want to keep in, what am I trying to say? Sorry, I got all confused. Keep inviting people. Don't stop inviting.
Yeah, that was my next point. So I'm glad you said it. I said this in my video yesterday, and Carolyn and I had a conversation about this, but I will just tell you that the coaches that have been successful and you're seeing them on the leaderboard, they are not sending 5 invites a day. They're not, I don't even think they're sending 10. So I think the people who rank up, I know Jessica and we'll share Carolyn's news for tomorrow morning, but and me too, I mean, 10, 25, there are days where I send 50 and 75 and 80. There have been days where I know Carolyn and Jessica and I are like, okay, let's shut Facebook down today. Cause there's a certain point when you send like 75 to 80 where you'll get this little message from Facebook where you have to put in the like security code, whatever. and they tell you you're like misusing Messenger. That I make that my goal some days.
That's usually my goal when I send out my bulk email days. Like when I first started, I was inviting probably 50 people a day. Now I'm kind of doing it twice a week, probably 70 people a day, just because you don't have to hustle as hard once you keep inviting, and it'll slow down. You'll start to trickle. Like what Heather told me this weekend, you invite on Thursday, Friday, and that'll trickle in. They'll start seeing your transformation posts on Sunday. Sorry, Chloe.
Uh-oh, we can't hear you.
They'll see your transformation post on Sunday, and then it'll trickle through the week, and you'll start having those people answer you back. I mean,
yes. Yeah. Well, and again, I shared this yesterday, but I'll share it again. When Carolyn and I talked, it just hit me. Like I came up with this analogy, and it's probably stupid, but think of it like, because we're hearing that a lot of you guys are getting really discouraged by the no's. And so I feel like when you're inviting 5 and 10 people, if 5 of those people are saying no, that kind of hurts a little bit, right? Because it's like, I think of it in terms of if you're planting a crop. I'm not a farmer. Can you guys hear me? Just shake your heads if you can hear me. Yes? Okay, good. I'm not a farmer, but I think of it like a crop. So if you're wanting to produce crop and you plant 5, whatever they are, and 3 of them go down, that's going to hurt, right? But what happens when you plant 100 and 3 of them go down? It's not that bad, right? So I would say invite. Like I know the vital behaviors probably sound really, they sound cheesy to me too. I don't like even saying that. But inviting, personal development, recognition, and recognition doesn't just mean like, I try to shout you guys out when y'all do awesome stuff, but recognize yourself. Like, look at Jessica. Jessica had a post where she had shorts pulled out, and they're huge on her now. There are posts that I had a pair of yellow pants that my coach said, find something that doesn't fit and post about it when you fit into it. So like recognize yourself, and then invite in personal development, because this is a roller coaster, y'all. Like I have conversations with like the coaches that are mine that are on here, Jessica, Carolyn, Kayla, like we have like heart-to-heart talks every week. And that's what I'm here for. That's what your coach is here for, because this is going to be a mental roller coaster. There will be quiet days. There are going to be days where you're overwhelmed because you're signing so many people up, but that isn't going to happen until you start to invite your heart out, show up every day. The stuff that me and Jessica are talking about, y'all, we've been doing this for 2 and 3 months. Okay. So like, I don't want you guys to think that like what we're doing is this unattainable thing. Like we started 2 and 3 months ago, but I'm just being really candidly honest with you guys that the things that we've done is we invite our hearts out and we show up on social media every single day without exception. And we don't take no for an answer. And we try not to. Hey, Tanya. We are recording this so you can watch back. And we try. It's okay. You look beautiful today.
Thanks.
We are just talking about just kind of like objections and core things to do and all of that. So pretty much, what was I saying, you guys? Somebody help me out.
Just what you should do every day. Don't just do part of it. You need to do all of it. I want to see 2 to 3 posts a day on your Facebook and Instagram, not just Insta stories. Like if you're going to do it all. Like you committed to 80 days, right? So commit to this too. What's it going to hurt? You're going to make I'll be honest, you're going to make some good money once you start to show up every day, So you're going to lose the pounds, you're going to inspire others, and you're going to help your bank account. So, I mean, you're really not losing, right? So just stay confident, and you just have to, don't let it bring you down. Do not let those objections bring you down. You have to start the week with a perspective every week that you're doing this for you and not for everybody else. And I will be the first to tell you that I have to do that every single day almost.
Well, and Jessica calls it recalibrating. So like if you are getting please do not sit and waller in a place of self-doubt. Okay. If you are feeling that way, reach out to your coach. Okay. Because if you're feeling that way, like, my coaches that are on here can attest, like, I will go to lunch with you. I am going to lift you up. I am going to tell you, take a step back from, like, take care of yourself. That's why we all signed up to do this first and foremost. I talked to, Selena couldn't make the call, but we talked right before this. I guarantee you that not many people sign up and say, okay, I'm going to do Beachbody and I want to be a coach. Most of you guys are here because you saw the journey of your coach and you thought, maybe I could do this, right? Or I talked some of you guys into it. But the core reason that you guys all signed to do this is to take care of yourself, right? But there's a point in this, like, this can change your life. You can take care of yourself inside, outside, your family, financially. There's a lot of freedom in this. If you just don't do half of the things, and I know this is probably feels like tough love right now, but don't do half of it, right? Show up on social media every day. Don't sell. Share your heart. Tanya is doing it. She's killing it. Okay. Like, we had lunch the other day and I want Tanya to write a book because I want to hear about her life story. And y'all can start to tell each other's story. Like, I know we're on a team, right? So I can talk about when somebody says they're busy. Well, look, listen, my girl Jessica's moving and she lifted the couch she's sitting on right now. I can talk about my girl Carolyn and everything going on in her life. And I can talk about Tanya now. So now it's like, Tanya, do you mind if I say something?
No, that's okay.
So, like, Tanya she told me her history and past, and Tanya tell me your lung story.
So I had a lot of health issues when I was born. So my heart was actually on the wrong side, and I have just one lung. So cardio day is tough, but I have to modify some things. But each week has definitely got better.
So, like, and I just got chills again. Like, I got chills when I had lunch with Tanya when she talked about that, and I was like, you have got to share this. Because now when somebody's like, I'm out of shape and cardio is not my thing, I can be like, well, guess what? My girl Tanya has one lung and she may pause, but she's getting it done. Right. So that's why your stories are so important. Like, I didn't join Emily in Beachbody because I saw her Beachbody post, you guys. I joined Emily in Beachbody because she shared that she had 4 miscarriages and I had 2, and we connected on that. Okay. So that's why it's so important to share. Like, some of you guys are like feeding your babies right now. And like, being a mom is one of the hardest freaking things you will ever do. I think Kayla hopped off, but she just graduated from nurse practitioner school. Like, share what's happening in your life and the stuff that you're overcoming, because all of us are overcoming things. Right. Share your heart. And then don't forget to personally invite people. There's got to be a call to action.
Vulnerability is really hard, but it brings really good things. So I just really want y'all to be vulnerable with your lives. Share what's going on. There's some things where I'm like, oh, should I really share that? Should I really talk about what I'm going through today? But every time I do share that, I get response. I always am shocked by the things that people respond to, and it's usually in my most vulnerable moments. Yeah. So
and that's the thing is, if something like my post, if something makes you nervous to share, it probably means you need to share it. Right. I mean, a lot of this is stepping outside of your comfort zone. I don't think this is inside of anyone's, maybe like 2 people. We have 10 minutes. So, I don't know that this is inside of anyone's comfort zone. So if it makes you nervous and you feel like you're going to throw up when you're about to post it, probably means it's going to touch somebody and you do need to post it. Right. Last point I do want to kind of make before we open it up for questions. And again, if we get cut off, I will just post on our team page another link to join so we can continue the Q&A session. So the other thing is, when you do share something super vulnerable, you are in a vulnerable state. So I'm just going to call Jessica out and use her as the example, is she'll text me and be like, oh my God, I'm going to delete it. Nobody's liking it. Oh, I shouldn't have shared that. And like, what I want you guys to do is to share and step away Okay? Do not share something vulnerable and then sit there and watch the likes and watch the comments. And I know Katie's not on, but she's going to watch this later, so I'm going to shout her out. But Katie got injured and she had to stop doing 80-day obsession, but she's still drinking her Shakeology and talking to coworkers and showing up. And Katie, somebody signed up to be a coach underneath her that Katie said she has not liked a single post. She hasn't commented a single thing. And then she just came to her and was like, okay, so tell me about this Shakeology you're carrying around and what are you doing? And I want to do it too.
People are always watching, even if they're not liking.
Yeah.
They're always watching.
So please, please, please do not let your post define you. Do not let it get, because the enemy, you guys, we are stepping out in faith. Our team is called Faith Over Fear. Do you think the enemy likes that? No, he does not. So this is going to be attacked from all fronts. So don't let those attacks. Emily told me, because I was getting attacked pretty freaking hard last week. Emily told me, she said, thieves don't break into empty houses. Emily was like, if you're getting attacked right now, it's because there's something good in you and going on in your life. Okay, so life is going to happen. I know for some of you guys, I've gotten texts. Life is happening this week. Okay, and I have chills and I'm going to cry. But when you guys are still showing up and sharing your hearts when life is happening, that is what is going to touch somebody and change their lives. Okay, this is so much more than us trying to get points and ranks and dollars and whatever the heck else. You guys, we are changing lives, our own lives and other people's lives too. So I want you guys to shift your mindset. No's aren't no. No shouldn't be personal. Your likes are not a reflection of you and your self-worth. Neither is the scale. We are all on our own journeys. Your social media should and will look different than mine. Don't compare. Comparison is the thief of joy. I'm preaching now. But that's just what, I mean, I love you guys. And I got the feeling that a lot of people are feeling down and out right now. And I just wanted to give you guys some encouragement, some truth, some tough love. But don't think that Jessica and I, just because we've seen success in our 2-3 months, whatever, that we don't have these days, you guys. We rely really heavily on each other. And there are days, like Jessica was at the beach, so I didn't want to bother her. There was a week where things were really, really, really quiet for me. And I was freaking out. I'm pretty sure I talked to Carolyn about it and I texted Emily. And please rely on each other and rely on your coach in those moments. Don't sit there and feel discouraged. I know when I get off the phone with Selena, Carolyn, Jessica, Tanya, anybody, it renews me just as much as it hopefully renews you guys as well.
That's one of the biggest things I've loved about this is that it's rekindling friendships. I mean, me and Katie, I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry, but me and Katie have been best friends since before we were in kindergarten. And this has completely brought us back together. So this isn't about selling. This is about rekindling friendships. It's about having a community of women to count on instead of being depressed on our couches, So use each other, lean on me. That's what I'm here for,
Yeah. So we've got 5 minutes and 27 seconds left before it kicks us off. So I want to just open up the floor for questions. If you guys have any questions, y'all are giving me all the baby fever right now. But if y'all have any questions, I just want to open up the floor. So you guys, if you're muted, unmute and just ask a question if you have it. Or share any wins. If you have any wins or whatever, share those.
Sam, you have a win. You're doing amazing. Signed somebody yesterday, and her post was great. Yes. Y'all are all really good. Really. I don't want this to seem like y'all aren't doing good, so we have to have a talk. Y'all are really blowing it out of the water, like post, inviting, like I am so impressed. I mean, I really am. And that's why we feel it's so important to talk to everybody, because we're like, oh, we have this awesome team. We've got to really show up for them too, So that's really what this is about.
We want to be good stewards of, you guys have trusted us with this journey, and we want to be good stewards to, really set you guys up for the tools for success. Jessica and I talk about it all the time, but if you haven't done the Coach University, like you guys don't, like I went to Super Saturday and I've like had lunches and talked to other coaches in Beachbody outside of the Ashley Emily team. And y'all, other coaches, they don't even know what Success Club and Emerald, they don't even know what any of this means.
We're in the top like 3 teams.
2 and 3. So Ashley's number 2, Emily's number 3, and they beat out a coach that has been number 1 for 10 years, right? So this team is, and I can't share all the details, but this team is climbing. Okay, and I want you guys to utilize the resources. If you haven't done Coach University, if you're not watching the team calls, the national wake-up calls, Selena said she was doing, there's a Beachbody Champions page on Facebook. Ashley Feldestein, or I don't know how to say her name, but she did a video on inviting that I'm going to watch today that I hear is super good. And I want to preface it with, I don't expect you guys to get on all the calls because you'll be on calls all day, every day. So if there is a good one, we will try to like share it or say like, hey, this was a really good call. But I want you guys to realize through the Coach University, and also use the upline pages. If you're not a part of the Fit and Fancy Dynasty Facebook page, I'll post the link today, but please make sure you're on that too, because that's like hundreds and hundreds of coaches. And so a lot of them have been doing this for 4 years. Okay. So we have a huge resource in our upline that a lot of coaches don't get this. So utilize what's there. But you guys are doing awesome. I said that in my call yesterday, but I just want to reiterate, like, I think our entire team showed up on Monday night to invite people to the May Challenge group because it was the deadline. And I was like, oh, hey, like Jessica said, I think we like realized like, oh my gosh, we have a legit team now. And so it just got us excited, and we do want to be mentors for you guys and just good stewards of what you
just know that we're having the same kind of day as you. Like just because I'm a little bit higher does not mean I'm not like freaking out and calling Heather. So same stuff happening over here.
Yeah. So any other questions, anything you guys are, we have less than a minute. So we can even jump off and jump back on if you'll have questions. Any questions y'all want to ask?
If y'all have any questions, post on the page and we'll answer them too if you think of any. Okay. Yeah,
I think Rachel did. That's kind of what spurred this. Is Rachel posted yesterday, and then a lot of people were like, "Oh, me too," and then people were giving feedback. So please don't be afraid to post on that team page. We were people were going live and stuff like that, and so I just, for the team page, I do want to ask, like, it's fine if you want to go live and share something. I ask that you tell Jessica and I ahead of time so we can schedule it and announce it and do a nice pretty post for you of when you're going to go live and stuff like that. So we can, as the team is growing, which is an awesome thing, we're just growing and learning and growing pains. So you guys are welcome to post on that page. If you've got a question, that's what that page is for. It's for us. So if you've got a question or you need a help with an objection or a script or something like that, that's what that page is for. It's about everything coaching. So please utilize it as often as you would like.
I was so happy to see all your faces. I'm glad y'all popped on.
This is fun. I want to if you guys like this, I would love to do this like once a week. So we'll figure out what time works for the majority. I know it won't work for everybody, but we can always record them. So anything else? I love y'all so much.